You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Packernet podcast. I am your host and resident panelist, as always, Ryan Schlip. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_daddy. That's the wrong intro, but that's okay. This is the call-in show of the Packernet podcast. If you'd like to call in, you can call in 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. I am very pleased to announce we do have a new caller today. So let's get started with no further ado with a new caller. What's up?
Hey, Ryan, this is Jerry. I'm a first-time caller. Been listening for about 6 months. Love the show, especially Laughing with the Enemy.
It's a fan favorite.
We got complimentary football in all three phases for 4 quarters, or nearly 4. It was amazing. I mean, I think the theme has to be no-name players stepping up, you know, when we have injuries. Josh Jacobs out, no problem. Division II player Emmanuel Wilson, 2 TDs, kept driving. It was just exquisite. Quay out, no problem. McDuffie with 9 tackles, an interception. And we got, what? Special teams, for God's sake. Zane, is he real? Anderson gets a turnover on the 5-yard line. That was an amazing moment. But the best one was when JJ threw a ball straight to Evan Williams, got an interception, and then leads a skull chant in the end zone. Oh, my God. Classic. Been nothing that good since the jaw doing the giddy over Jefferson, man. It was stunning. Anyway, we got all the momentum going into Thursday, and don't forget, Love has won the last 2 Turkey Bowl games. We winning. Take care. Go Pack Go.
Well, I appreciate the call, and as always, hope to hear from you again. And I think that's a great way to start because I am so nervous. The Packernet After Dark group tends to be pretty good at this, but I'm so nervous because there's just a ton of negativity out there after a big win against a big opponent, and we have a short week, like you said, with an upcoming opponent that's a crucial game, and so we don't have a lot of time to celebrate this, so let's not waste time by whining about how we went on to beat the living crap out of the Vikings. But yeah, it was a big game for people stepping up. That's a good point, as well as I don't want to leave out Kamal Haddon, who had to come in and fill in for the injured Keyshawn Nixon, and as best as I could tell or anybody else, did a really good job and got a ton of praise from the coach after that. All right, let's go back to Chris from Alabama.
What's going on, Ryan? Chris from Alabama, man. Halftime of the game. Packers are up 10-6. And I know the score looks low scoring. It might not look, I don't know how everybody else feels. It might not look like everybody else might want it to look. I'm actually all right with what transpired in the first half. I mean, Emmanuel Wilson he's filling in good for Josh Jacobs, getting good little runs. Blocking looks a little bit better. Couple little hiccups here and there with a little pressure up the middle or whatever, but, you know, Love is handling that very good. So, I mean, I ain't got no complaints. I ain't really got nothing to complain about. Defense, you know, they really ain't playing bad. I mean, they playing pretty good. You know, the pressure's just not getting all the way home as it should be. Referees need to take their flags out their pocket for a little bit. Call a couple of them holding calls. I've seen a lot of holding going on out there, but all in all, man, I'm cool, man. I think second half, I think is where we're gonna go ahead and just do what we got to do to win the game. I mean, I don't see anything from Minnesota that could cause any type of concern. They're running the ball pretty decent, but if we come out the second half go ahead and get a little distance, make them put that ball in McCarthy's hand, that should be fine. That's about the only concern I might have. A little run defense is they kind of giving up a couple of chunk plays, but other than that, man, I ain't got no complaints, man. Like I said, 10-6, man, it look like we can move the ball when we want. You know, we had a couple of drives that kind of stalled out or whatever, but it ain't no miscues. I'm not seeing any type of miscues, no drop passes, nothing like that that's just alarming or concerning. So, I mean, shit, I think we in good shape. I think we in pretty good shape, but yeah, that's about all I got, man. Don't got no concerns, don't got no feelings, just waiting on the second half to see if we can go ahead and keep putting these drives together and go ahead and pull away and do what we got to do for this game, man. But go Pack, go, and I'll talk to y'all after the game.
And that's an important point, man. This is a really clean game. I mean, it was 4 quarters. It was all 3 phases. I was shocked to see in the recap that I did tomorrow, you'll hear, 2 penalties for 10 yards in the whole game. 2. I mean, it's not perfect. I still was relatively upset with the offensive line. I think the running backs had to do way too much work, and Jordan really was not as comfortable as he probably should have been. But, I mean, this was our most complete game. I think the only maybe frustration or however you want to put it, the fear is in these types of games that are more run the ball, defensive, time of possession, even though the Packers pretty much dominated from top to bottom, it's always going to be a little bit more nerve-wracking because you're not running away with it. You know, if you dominate in a high-scoring game or a pass the ball kind of game, then you run away with the score. In this type of game, even though you're dominating, you're not running away with the score, so it's still close. It's like if the Vikings just suddenly turn it on, we're in big trouble kind of thing. But that never happened, and it gets even better in the second half. So just go ahead and buckle up. 13-0, I think, is how we finished or dealt with the second half. But yeah, very, very complete game. And without looking at the scoreboard and panicking about the fact that the numbers are close together, it never really, honestly, felt very close.
Oh, Ryan, how you doing? It's Kyle from Madison.
Howdy.
I just want to tell you, that's what it looks like when you got the luck of the Irish on your team and Danny Whelan out there. We're in good hands. It's Danny Whelan.
Yeah, that was another one my son called out. We need a good punt here, and gets that. I was like, bro, you got to say that every time. Just say we need a good punt. Actually, he did say it the next time, and it was another good punt. But yeah, that was freaking glorious, man. And again, it's like everything just kind of came together. This was the first, not just complete, but very complete. You know, you mentioned, or Chris did, about the pass rush, and it really wasn't there the first half, but man, did it turn on in the second half. So pass rush, the turnovers in multiple phases, the kicking was 100%, the punting was phenomenal. Just everything was it was great. It was so good. I'm enjoying the game now more. A little crabby on tomorrow's podcast because I saw all the whining and I kind of did some scolding in the first section there, but it's a good day, dude. Real good day.
Ryan, Kyle from Madison. What's up, dude? Well, so many things right now. So many things. I don't know. Greg Olson's tasting our game plan as being too conservative. I don't know what he's talking about. I think it's
Thank you.
Absolutely fine.
Thank you.
Like, Wilson is cooking. You're now up 14 in the fourth quarter.
Right.
But at the same time, man, I mean, we got to just hope that 9 doesn't channel the animal within.
Right.
Because, you know, if at any moment he's able to channel that animal and become 9, like, you know, Captain Planet style, 14 points isn't going to be enough.
Sure.
You know, so all we can do is hope that he just doesn't do that.
And again, like, if things change, then things change. But for right now, as far as I'm concerned, in that kind of game, the way the game was going, the way the Packers played offensively was perfectly fine with me. It made sense, and it worked. And again, if the Vikings turn it on, yeah, maybe we got to switch some stuff up here. If they take the lead, we probably have to start passing the ball a little more or something. But considering the game flow, considering J.J. McCarthy for what he was, not 9, but J.J., at least, you know, we'll just blame everything on J.J. Yeah, I thought it was great. There was nothing I would want to change.
You know, I feel like you haven't spent enough time on how damn cringe that whole I'm 9 thing is with McCarthy. I feel like that deserves almost its own episode. That is one of the most cringy things.
It's bad.
Even if he was good, it would be cringe.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that he's just ass and saying that kind of crap, I feel like deserves a lot more crap than
you're right.
But
you're right.
Yeah, let's just hope he doesn't get it going. And then I kind of forgot that this is the first time that the Vikings have played against Parsons, and I'm just wondering, this is where the Schadenfreude is just delicious, because I feel like they kind of just forgot about him. And my heavens, is he reminding them, oh, hey guys, you haven't played against me yet? I'm just going to eat people up. I mean, there was this one play where he hurt the left tackle, whooped the running back, and then destroyed McCarthy on the
Dude, he was triple teamed all day.
Holy crap.
Ridiculous.
I mean, even when he's not getting the hit, he is just destroying them. So I can't wait to hear the Viking reaction to that. So again, if we can just stop him from transforming into 9, we might have a chance in this.
So stupid.
It's a little over 10 minutes left in the fourth. We're up by 14, get the ball back. Let's go back.
That is a good point, too, because, again, I need to keep reminding myself this is not a one-year rental with Micah Parsons. So, yeah, that is an introduction to what is to come for the foreseeable future. And if you're a Vikings fan or a Lions or a Bears fan, it's all the sweeter if Micah Parsons does something like that, because it's get used to it, buddy. As much as it sucks when Jordan has a great day and they're like, oh, they did it again, they got another one. This is your life now. This is just how it's going to go for you. So hopefully we get that again from Micah and can put out a little bit of a dominant performance, because we're going to need him against the Lions for sure. Not that they're playing lights out football necessarily recently, but still, let's assume they're going to, and we're going to need him, especially with what we know about Mr. Goff and his abilities under pressure, which apparently is 0. I just think we should make sure he's under pressure 24/7. Hopefully we get a little bit more Lucas Van Ness, too. We only had a couple snaps from him. I wouldn't mind seeing, Rashawn, Van Ness, Wyatt, and then Parsons coming right up the gut, which I think he loves. Just get him that running start. He's such a violent psychopath. I'm looking around like, oh, where is he? Where is he? And then you see this number 1 just sprinting up the middle, explodes the offensive line. The center goes flying on his back. The guard is trying to get his balance. The running back's coming in trying to help. It's it's a little frustrating when one guy's getting triple teamed, the other guys can't win their one-on-ones. Not all the time. I'm just saying when that happens and you see it, it's like, boys, he's got 3 guys right now and he's doing better than you, but it's less of a knock on the other guys and more of just how much of an absolute psychopath freak he is. Apparently not as much as Myles Garrett, who's looking to be have one of the best pass rush years in the history of the NFL, probably the best pass rush year in the history of the NFL, which is saying a ton, but he's up there. He's a freak. Okay, I'm loving this so far. Let's keep it going. We'll take a break. We'll be back with Steve in Alaska.
Hey, Ryan. Just calling here on a victory day. Just had that last pick in that fourth quarter there, 3 minutes or so to go get that last pick.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd call in since it's pretty well done. Looking at the other games, there's still a lot of time to go in the Steelers-Bears game, and the Steelers are driving. Hopefully they can get some points. And the Lions are starting to look like the Lions of old here all of a sudden.
Yeah,
offense ain't scoring any points. Defense giving up points to the Giants. Hopefully they play that way, in 4 days.
Yep.
They play that way again. We get a little bit more of that time out of them. We can take down the Vikings too, or the Lions too. That'd be pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Liked everything. I listened to the game with Wayne and Larry there. So everything sounded good. Sounded like they were proud of the team. Sounded like everybody was doing their jobs pretty well. Micah Parsons was a terror. The running game was solid. Passing game was solid. None of it was great, but in a game where, the defense is playing the way our defense plays, you don't have to be over the top amazing. You just have to play solid football.
Yep.
And you're going to win a lot of games. This defense is just starting to become just incredible. I'm enjoying listening to everything I hear about them and when I do get to see them. So, I'm going to town tomorrow. I got some errands to run, some things to do, but I'm going to enjoy myself with Victory Monday, and hope all the rest of you do too. Go Pat!
Yeah, I forgot what the stat was. I'll have to do some digging. When I do the immediate reaction thing, I'm not really spending a lot of time scouring. I'm kind of just first reaction, trying to grab as many fun little stats as I can, but always after the fact, I always find some good stuff. And one of them had to do with, I don't think, don't quote me on it, but something to the effect of nobody has scored 20 points. It might even be better than that. So far at home against the Packers. Let me just look what the freaking number is. Yeah, it is 20 points. So they've given up 10, 16, 18, 18, and 13 when at home. And then it was something to the effect of, I think it was like 1963 or something was the last time that they've done that. So it's really impressive what the defense has been able to do. And I think the offense and defense are kind of similar in a way. Again, with and nobody on the calls so far has done it. I'm guessing we'll get at least one, but the frustration with the way in which the offense operates with the running the ball and all that kind of stuff, I think annoyed a lot of people. I think that's similar with the defense. They want more of the high flying, aggressive and everything. And it's like, we don't need to do that. We can just grind them into the dirt. We're going to rush 4. We could bring an extra guy and probably get more pressures, but also we're going to give up more explosive plays, and we don't want to do that. And we don't feel we need to. And they've been proven right, which is unfortunate for everybody that wants the more aggressive defense, because why should we? Why should we change this? We'll rush 4, and we'll provide enough pressure while keeping a ton of people in coverage, which makes it really difficult for other teams. And yeah, they'll be able to get some yards here and there, and they'll be able to do this or that. But at the end of the day, they don't end up scoring a lot of points. And really, even on the road, outside of Dallas, it's 20, 25, 23, and 13. It's 20 or more in every game except one. But 20 and 23 and 13 are also relatively low scores. So, 25 is like a standard score. There's really only one game where the defense gave up a lot of points. It's really pretty incredible. So, again, aside from the fact that it might be somewhat deflating our own score, I just think the way that they're playing is, whether you like it or not, it's hard to argue with the results. Chris from Alabama.
Hey, what's going on, Ryan? Chris from Alabama, man. We got about 2 minutes left, man. They done put Malik in the game. And this was pretty much over with, so they want to go ahead and get my call on out the way before all the calls start flooding in, if they haven't already. But this is a very, very good win for us. Very good, easy, comfortable, no stress.
Exactly.
Exactly what I've been asking for all season. No stress, no hollering at the TV, no on edge, no blood pressure rising. Nice, easy, complete ball game. Run blocking looked a whole lot better. I noticed at first they were switching out Morgan and Belton, and it kind of seemed like they stuck with Belton majority of the way, unless Morgan got hurt somewhere and they didn't say anything about it. But I don't know, man. I was kind of trying to keep my eye on the offensive line all day, especially that right side, and it seemed like Belton did a pretty good job over there. It might be something they might need to roll with, at least for, I say, a few weeks or so, just to see if it's gonna hold up. But it really wasn't too much pressure coming in from that middle. Once or twice, Ryan letting some guys come through on blitz first half, but that run blocking pretty much was decent. Well, actually, it was very good. Emmanuel Wilson had a day, 100 yards rushing. I mean, Love really didn't have to do too much. So, all in all, man, complete ball game to me, man. No complaints. I know we gave up a couple of rush yards in the first half, but we took them out of it with the pass rush and the offense putting up points, so they really couldn't run the ball like that, like they really wanted to. But all in all, good football game. We got a quick turnaround, man, with Detroit. I expect Josh Jacobs to be back for that one. That was kind of smart sitting him out for this game and maybe have him come back for the Detroit game on Thursday. So, yeah, man, good win today, man. Good complete ball game. Let's continue to build on this, continue to build wins, and just continue to improve and get better, man, as this season wind down and we get ready for this playoff run, man. But go Pack, go, man, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I mean, you're kind of saying how I started off the show for tomorrow's episode, which is like I feel like we all got everything we wanted. This is the first game all year where, I mean, it's our most dominant win by far. It's the biggest blowout of the season. A no-stress game, a 4-quarter game, a 3-phase game. It's everything. Everything we wanted. So, yeah, I think it's a real good game, and it's kind of a getting hot at the right time thing. It's just one game, and it's against a bad opponent. I'm not trying to overstate it, but this is what you need. You need to start tightening it up as you get down the stretch, right? I know everybody wanted Toyotathon Jordan Love to throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. I understand that. I'm so sorry that didn't happen for you. I don't know what to tell you. I just freaking is what it is, I guess. But this is a good game. It was a good game for a lot of different reasons. And just discipline, consistency, and again, all 3 phases. That's the biggest thing that we need. On top of your playmaker showing up. And again, we didn't get a big game from Jordan, but Jordan did everything he was asked to do. Micah Parsons, needed him, got him. So, yeah, feel real good about that. We need that going into that Lions game because I don't expect that to be easy at all. I don't care if they're not playing well. I think that's going to be a freaking dogfight. The Lions are playing scared a little bit. 3rd in the division. They don't want to lose to the number 2 team in the division. Especially falling 0-2 to the Packers is going to be pretty devastating. So, I mean, they are going to fight for their life in that freaking game, and we cannot show up sloppy. And you're right, it does help that Josh Jacobs gets a little extra rest. And I know Golden hasn't been a big part of the offense, but he's going to be getting out there as opposed to kind of staying in there a little banged up or whatever. Again, hopefully getting Van Ness as a little additional pass rush. And then as far as the Belton thing, I'm real intrigued to see, how the grades went. And I think we're really short on time, but we'll see. Maybe I'll try to go back and watch how he did. But that is an intriguing thing. I don't think he got hurt from what I understand. They were rotating to start, and by the second half, Belton just got the job. And watching it live, I was so confused because I kept looking and saying, is that Belton? But Kennard was in so much, I was like, I think, because I just kept seeing a big guy, and I'm like, that must just be Kennard. But I was confused because it was like left guard, right guard, and Kennard was like the 6th tackle sometime, or the 6th offensive lineman at times. So the whole thing was really confusing what the heck I was even looking at. But then to come to find out at the end that, yes, it was actually Belton, and he was playing guard. I'm not super upset about it. I'm sure that the negative take on that is, there's our first-round pick who lost his job or whatever. Again, I think Morgan's a tackle. I don't like that they've been trying to force him into guard. I wanted Belton at guard. And so hopefully this pans out. I mean, if we can get Belton to be a solid right guard. Again, my whole thing that I didn't like about him was, yeah, he's a big guy that's athletic. But that's athletic in quotes for his size in college. Being a pro at right tackle against guys like TJ Watt, he ain't that athletic. But he's certainly athletic enough to be a guard in the NFL. And he can deal with that level of space. So, again, we'll see. I don't know how long this holds up, but I am very hopeful that he can end up being a solid, just massive road grading right guard. How great would that be? Especially if we can kind of figure that out down the stretch. And, as for Morgan, again, I think he has got a shot to be our left tackle of the future. I think he basically, like I said, I think he won the job. He was better than Rashid in the offseason. But because we lost our left guard, he was forced to be our left guard, and so Rashid was handed the left tackle spot. And then when our left guard came back, they pushed him to right guard because he's better than Sean Ryan, at least presumably. So the whole thing's just been kind of jacked up. But I think maybe looking to this year and then next year, trying to get your best 5 out there, I think hopefully Belton can end up being a better replacement. And possibly next year, as much as I really do like Rasheed Walker, I think he's a phenomenal 7th-round pick. If we are talking about needing to move on from certain guys, this, that, or the other, I think we have a ready-made replacement in Jordan Morgan at left tackle. And then you're looking at a situation where, I'm very curious to see how Banks did also. But if you can have our first-round pick Morgan be at least as good as Rasheed, hopefully a little better at left tackle, Banks hopefully steps up a little bit at left guard. The center thing, we'll see what happens with Elton. But let's assume he sticks around, and then you got Belton and Zach Tom. I mean, there's a potential here to be a good offensive line. We're going to have to find a replacement for Elton at some point. Hopefully it's not an emergency thing next year. But, that sounds like there's some potential to be a good offensive line there. And a good offensive line this year. I don't know how good Sean Ryan's going to be at center, but, if Belton can get that right guard spot going and Banks can kind of snap out of it a little bit and, continue playing at a decent level, who knows? Again, down the stretch, get the run game going, get Josh Jacobs back. Nothing against Emmanuel Wilson, but it's nice having 2 guys. It's hard for one guy to do that, 30 carries a game every week kind of thing. But yeah, it's an interesting development, and whatever works, man. I don't care who was drafted when or any of that. And I don't think the Packers do either. That's why Belton's been sitting on the bench. That's why Rasheed Walker is our left tackle and not Jordan Morgan. You know what I mean? But I just want a good offensive line, because if we can get the run game going consistently, everybody else is screwed. They're just screwed. The offensive line is the biggest issue, and if that gets fixed, this is going to be a real scary football team. Let's take a break, and then we'll come back because we got 2 beer cheese here.
Woo! Let's go, Ryan. Packers win 23-6. That's absolute domination. Micah Parsons, exactly why we paid for him, man.
Exactly. That was my thought.
And I feel like Wooden and Wyatt were just beasts today. Rashawn Gary basically nowhere to be seen, except for when, he forced that interception to McDuffie.
That was a pretty big play.
Yeah. So that's frustrating. But the offense, I just felt like they were... I wonder if LaFleur was worried about Love's injury, man, because they just kept running the ball. And granted, it was working.
Exactly.
I don't want to be too nitpicky.
And that's I'm telling you, I know where this is going. That's all you need to know. That's it. That's the whole story. Why? And like when I was listening to the press conference, it all sounded like this. Like, why did you do that? Well, did you watch the game? Did you see how well it worked? That's why we did it. That's the answer to the question.
Because we did everything we needed to do to win against who was in front of us.
Exactly.
Right? We ran the ball effectively with Wilson, and it was cool, man. But I just don't see why we couldn't have done some more play action stuff.
For what?
And again, I don't want to nitpick this because, again, we did everything we needed to win. So, and that's the coach's job, is to win the game, and we certainly did that. But we should have scored more, really. But again, I don't want to be all like.
But I see, and this is the other thing too, and I kind of talk about it tomorrow. It's the assumption that we did good running, we would have done better passing. Maybe we would have done worse. You know what I mean? I mean, how many times do we not convert a first down, do you think, if instead of running for 4 on first down, we pass and get an incompletion. Well, now it's 2nd and 10. Well, from 2nd and 6, you can run it again. And if you get 4 more, it's 3rd and 2. If it's 2nd and 10 because of an incompletion, you have to pass it again. You know what I mean? Like it kind of sets you behind the 8 ball a little bit. So I don't want to just get into this mode where we assume running is good, passing is better. Not always. Passing can absolutely hurt you. The sacks, the picks, the incompletions are a really big deal. That's a run for 0 yards. That's a bad play.
Oh, we should have scored more. It wasn't good enough. Because, end of the day, man, we did better than some of these other teams did.
Everybody. We did better than everybody. In the noon slot, and I haven't updated that and looked since. I talked about that on the podcast as well. I mean, this was the week of really good teams playing really bad teams. Atlanta played New Orleans. They won by 14. We won by more. Philly played Dallas. They lost. Seattle played Tennessee. They won by just 6. Detroit played the freaking Giants, and it went into overtime. New England played the most appallingly bad defense in the history of the world. They won by 6. Chicago played a Pittsburgh Steelers team with Mason Rudolph at quarterback, and they won by 3. Baltimore played the Jets and won by 13. We won by more. Buffalo played Houston and lost. I'm not watching the game, but it looks like LA is going to do better than that against Tampa. They're a very good team. But, I mean, you get it? Like, this isn't just a win. This isn't just like some 2-point, like, I guess it's a win, I guess I should be happy. This was a dominant performance, and not in spite of the game plan, not in spite of how we played, but because of how we played. Don't assume that, yeah, it was good, but it could have been better. You don't know that. It could have been worse.
I would have called sooner, but the damn... Oh, what a catch for the Giants. Wow. The Giants are stupid, by the way. If you guys ever want to know what stupid coaching is, watch the Giants. How stupid they are.
Oh.
They freaking...
Is that... I'm trying to think if it was the same game. I think it might have been the Giants, where they kept, like, they were running out of time, and they kept running these short crossers in the middle of the field. And then it's like, bro, that's a 2-yard gain, and you lost a down, and the time is running out. You have like 30 seconds, and they did it twice. Like twice and 3 times. Like, how do you throw a 2-yard pass in the middle of the field? How can you be that stupid?
Didn't go for the field goal when they should have. And they would have won this game, really, to be honest with you. But they started off bad, Ryan. My wife put my daughter in a purple dress. And I'm like...
Oh, no.
I didn't say anything. I'm like, I don't want to upset her.
No, don't say anything.
It doesn't mean anything. I'm like, yes, it does. And so as soon as she left to go to the grocery store, I changed her out of that shit so quick. Put her in something else.
Well done.
Not even necessarily Packer stuff. She has this little strawberry onesie I put her.
I was going to say, make it pink. You know what I mean? It's still like cutesy girly stuff. It just can't be purple. Not today.
And I'm like, it's better than the purple.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. And so I thought we were due for a loss here because of all that bullcrap. But it didn't happen.
I think you saved it.
And, you know, Emmanuel Wilson was awesome today.
He really was.
He was incredible. And I think, like, dude, Micah Parsons just keeps proving his worth.
Yep.
Every single time, man. He's totally worth the first-round picks and the money. Like, seriously, I'm going to call back.
Yeah, I don't want to just keep repeating myself, but the guys like Micah, man, you know, you get guys like this for situations like that. He's your closer, and obviously the main point is not to close out a 17-point win against the Vikings. It's to do that in a critical situation in the playoffs. But that's at least demonstrating that's why you get that guy.
So Ryan, continuing on my call, you know, we would run the ball like 3 times, and it seemed like every third time the Vikings knew that it was coming. And I hated that. But again, like Greg Olsen mentioned on the broadcast, like, I wonder if they're really that worried about Love's injury. And maybe they were. Oh my gosh, the Giants are stupid. The Giants are dumb. I'm sorry, they are so dumb. Sorry, this is distracting me. And this is part of the reason why I didn't call right away, because I was watching this stupid crap, thinking, getting false hope that the Giants will beat the Lions. Oh, the Lions they're bad, dude. We're gonna beat them on Thanksgiving, dude. Love's gonna get a turkey leg. Anyways, I just thought that the flow of the game, like, they just were eating up the clock. They really were.
Yeah. Good.
And, sometimes that's all it takes. But J.J. McCarthy, dude, I'm going to tell you this right now. I started calling him J.J. McCrappy. He's so bad.
Got him.
I mean, seriously. He is so stupid. Our defense just got the pressure to him, and he just can't handle it. He just really can't. He has no ability.
Well, and I don't think I've ever seen a slower sack right in a guy's face than, I think it was, I forget which sack it was. There's so many. But maybe it was the McDuffie sack, because it was right up the middle. And he just stood there. And it's like, bro, you can scramble. Like, it was a slow, like, the guys came up the middle and it got stuck. Like, they did not get through, but they just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. He didn't try to step back. He didn't go around the outside. He just stood there and then took it. I've never seen that before. That should not, out of 1,000 times that's happened, 999 times, that is not a sack.
And what I don't understand is when, I believe it was Wyatt or Wooden, sacked him in the end zone, how is that not a safety? I don't get how that wasn't a safety.
Yeah, it's because they grab him initially out of the end zone and then throw him back in. So where they first grabbed him is going to be where they're going to mark him down. Even though it is kind of weird, because I don't know if they're going to do that outside of the end zone. They're probably supposed to, but I feel like they don't. Like, where that guy goes down is where they end up spotting. Maybe I'm just making that up, but they're probably going to be much more cautious about that and not calling it a safety if he's even slightly touched out of the end zone.
I just don't understand it. But it doesn't matter, we won, so I don't really care. It's not like we lost by 2 or whatever, and that would have been the difference or something like that. But overall, I thought we did what we had to do, and it was fun, man. It was great seeing the defense do what they were able to do and limit them. Again, the run defense, still kind of a problem. Because, like, at one point, the Vikings, all they did was run, and they just could get the first downs. That's all they could do. But I think there's only so much you can do when a offense, all they can do is run. So that's totally fine. And dude, I don't know. I'm just really happy. And I thought it was hilarious when Evan Williams got that interception and they went into the end zone and did the skull chant. It's like they were mocking them. Oh, I was dying. I was laughing so hard. But skull LOL. And yeah, this is great, man. Happy for a victory Monday. Unfortunately, the Bears get to avoid Rodgers. What a joke. And like, they barely beat him, to be honest. So whatever, dude. Who cares? We're the best team, man. And we're going to smoke the Lions on Thanksgiving, man. And Jameis Winston throws a crappy pass. Now it's 3rd and 7. Sorry. But this is annoying, dude. We're gonna beat the Lions.
It was very, I started to get, that was the beginning of my frustration. I was in the best mood I've been in watching a Packer game all year. I just so happy. And then you're watching, and it's like, you know it's probably not going to go great, but you don't expect everything to go wrong. The freaking Chiefs come back and win. The Lions come back and win. The Bears come back or hold their lead or whatever and win. Who else did I not want to win that one? It wasn't super close, but Seattle held on to win against Tennessee, who was coming back. I was rooting against the Patriots, and the Patriots ended up winning, even though it was close, after like 3 wide receiver injuries to the Bengals. So yeah, like every game came down to the wire, and every single team I wanted to lose won. Except maybe Arizona. I guess not Arizona, but that game doesn't really matter. So that was annoying. But I guess, again, it just kind of continues the thought of fakeness. The Bears coulda, woulda, shoulda lost to the Rodgers-less Pittsburgh Steelers. The Detroit Lions, that was a coin flip game. I mean, that was, that game came down to a coin flip against the freaking Giants. So there you go. As much as I'm certainly scared of the Detroit Lions, and my thinking is they're going to be way better than week 1, they're going to have to demonstrate that, I think. All right, let's do one more. Kyle from Madison.
Ryan, what's up, man? Kyle from Madison. It's been has it been 2 hours since the game ended? That was one of the fastest games I think I can remember.
It was fast.
That thing was over at like 3 o'clock or even before.
It's all that running.
What a great game by the Packers. Certainly that amazing punt with the English on it. That was it Anderson? Somebody blocked the Viking dude right into that ball. It was freaking beautiful. Obviously, that was like a big turning point. But I thought the Packers were playing pretty well before then. It was just a lot more even. That certainly blew the thing wide open. And the Vikings just were not equipped to do much of anything once the Packers got a lead. And then, boy, that pass rush just started eating. I mean, if this team can just get off the fast starts, there isn't anybody they can't beat. I mean, just playing against the Packers defense when you're down is just a miserable enterprise.
Yes.
Especially with a young quarterback. My goodness.
And again, I think that's the thought process of the offense. And I know a lot of fans don't like that. Just run up the score, go crazy, do crazy stuff. I don't want to be crazy. I don't want to go nuts. I don't want to do high-risk things. They can't score against us. Why would I risk it? Why would I do a high-risk thing that could put them back in the game when I don't have to do that? Because they're not coming back. And again, if they do start coming back, okay, maybe we change things. But for now, they're going to have to prove it, and they never did. And the defense just kept getting better and better. Their offense kept getting worse and worse. And it ended up being the exact right thing to do.
I thought Emmanuel Wilson was really good at finding, like, hidden yards.
Yep.
I mean, how many times? I mean, there was even one where Brooks dragged, like, the whole Vikings defense about 8 yards for first down. But it seemed like every other play, Wilson was somehow finding a way to get a first down or at least get close to the sticks. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you like he's better than Jacobs or anything because that's nonsense. But I do think like you do have a nice, what do I want to say, like two different styles of backs. And it is possible that like with some of our struggles that perhaps some of what Wilson does suit the Packers a little better. So I'd like to see a little bit heavier rotation between the two just to kind of, you know, do the old thunder and lightning thing. Because I just think Wilson he earned that today. You know, Jacobs is amazing. But just, you know, instead of giving Jacobs all the carries, like, let's cycle in Wilson a little bit. I think that would be my preference. But unfortunately, the Steelers and the Giants couldn't help us out. But, boy, it almost doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but to have the Lions in a really physical game into overtime, like deep into overtime, and then be playing them 4 days later, I mean, that's really helpful as well. I would like to see them get the loss in addition to that, but this team can be got on Thanksgiving. And, I mean, you know, we had Willis in at the end of the game. I feel like the Packers were dictating the tempo, resting most of the guys they needed to rest, and had Love out of the game. They didn't really ask him to do a whole lot, so he was able hopefully to get that shoulder healed up. So, man, it's going to be a short week, but that's probably the best game they've played since week 2, maybe. So, go Pack, go.
Yeah, Emmanuel Wilson has always been just a phenomenal back, underrated probably by the Packers. It's hard to, you know, pull guys like Josh Jacobs or Aaron Jones out of a lineup, but I mean, he's just a really good football player. That's just all there is to it. So, you know, I don't know how it's going to go moving forward. I'm absolutely on board with a heavier rotation if we wanted to do that. I think probably more than anything, what I'd really like is just to play the hot hand. I mean, there are going to be days where Jacobs is the better option. It's been theorized, and I tend to agree that it's not so much the way the Packers play, period. It's the way that things are going right now with the bad offensive line and the bad blocking. Jacobs is I shouldn't say very patient, but he's more of a patient runner, and that just doesn't seem to work because there's nothing there. And so you need a guy that is just going to grab the ball and just go. And so Emmanuel Wilson seems to do better at that. He also can be patient, and which is really cool with Emmanuel Wilson. He kind of does it all. But, Jacobs, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you can even ask the guy to do because there's just nothing there ever for him. It's why he's graded as highly as he is. I don't know where he's at lately, but he's, last I saw was graded as a top 3 running back or something, which of course everybody get mad about. How could you say it? It's because of what you're doing compared to what anybody would be capable of doing in that situation. All PFF is telling you, they're not saying he's getting a ton of yards. They're saying he's compared to expected, he's doing better than what we would expect just about anybody else to do. It shouldn't be a shock that their conclusion is that the offensive line is a disaster. Teddy Bridgewater is in for Baker. Yep, that's just how that's going. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. I thought that was great. I'm glad everybody's happy. I think we should be happy. Again, we only have a little bit. We got a gauntlet here. We got the Lions coming up. That's a big one. We got to make sure we're healthy. Hopefully, Keyshawn can bounce back and Golden can bounce back, and we can kind of get this thing rocketed rolling here. But I'm feeling good for now. And it sucks the Lions pulled that win out, but it's good enough as far as they haven't looked great for the most part this entire year. There was like a brief period shortly after they played us, like weeks, 3, 4, 5 in that range, where it was like, yeah, they're back. Especially since that happened in Detroit. If that had happened out in Jersey, I'd have been a little bit like, yeah, they don't, that's a tough. Lions aren't as good on the road, but at home they're a different animal. I don't know, man. 34 points isn't nothing. But the point is, the Giants put up 27 on them, which is an indictment on their defense. And Detroit being able to do 34 points against our defense is going to be very difficult. And so if our defense can keep down their offense and their defense can't keep down our offense, that's kind of the recipe for us winning that game. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that's kind of the issue the Lions are going to face right now. Their defense is not good enough to stop anyone, certainly not good enough to stop the Packers, and their offense is good, but the Packers' defense just does not allow a lot of points. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, I guess. All right, I'm out of here. You all have a good rest of your night. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.